It's good to know which foods are high in methionine so you can avoid them because methionine is a toxic amino acid shown to reduce longevity. Lowering methionine reduces IGF-1, the growth hormone that grows cancer cells. Too much methionine damages DNA and promotes accelerated aging. Quote, a growing body of evidence indicates that methionine restriction inhibits cancer cell growth, end quote. Quote, pharmaceutical companies are fighting to be the first to come out with a drug that decreases methionine levels to give to patients with advanced cancer. Cancer cells depend on methionine, so, quote, a methionine-free medicinal food powder was created and fed to cancer patients, but it tasted terrible and it contained inflammatory ingredients such as corn syrup and oil. A simple way to reduce methionine is to choose foods low in methionine. So here's a chart that I created, and I thought it was really fascinating. I learned a lot. So let's go through it together. So on the left is the number of milligrams of methionine for each of these foods, and we want to choose foods that are lowest in methionine. So if you look at the first item, bananas appear to be the lowest. So you're looking at fruits, looks like they are the lowest in methionine, and all portions are less than 100. So methionine, good thing because I love my banana smoothies. I put 3 bananas in my smoothies every morning. So that only has 7 milligrams of methionine. Next up, I've got carrots, and vegetables appear to be all around the same amount of milligrams of methionine. So carrots, vegetables, nice and low. So fruit and vegetables looks like really excellent choices, which you can eat a lot of. And then I've got down, it goes up, each of these goes up. So I have it from lowest to highest, and whole wheat bread, still very low. So anything under 115 is considered low. And it's not that you only want to eat the foods lowest because you want to diversify your food and get all the nutrients from all the different foods. And so, and you don't want to be bored. So anyways, yeah, if you like your whole wheat bread, all grains average around 26 milligrams of methionine. So yeah, you can enjoy bread if you like it, if it agrees with you. Mixed nuts, 31. So of course, nuts are high in fat, but at least they're low in methionine. Oranges are higher than bananas, but they're both, they're both fruit. 34 is still very low, and then it increases. And canned chickpeas, which are garbanzo beans, and beans average around 54. So if you're looking at beans, looks like 54, nice and low. Quinoa is 64, teff is 69. So grains, looks like grains average around 64 to maybe 99. Still excellent choices. Next up, kidney beans. So certain beans are higher than others. 65, still a good choice. Kale. Now this kind of surprised me. Kale is a superfood, and that has 66 milligrams of methionine, but you don't want to not eat kale. It's a superfood. It actually promotes healing. I actually eat a lot of kale, and I've found really excellent results in my health by eating a lot of kale. And then tofu, this one kind of upset me because I do like tofu. And obviously, you want to choose organic to reduce the chemicals in your diet. But 114 is still pretty low. You don't want to eat too much tofu because it is on the higher end. But if you're going to decide to have a burger, a beef burger, or tofu burger or something like that, choose the tofu burger or, whatever. Tofu, tofu chicken. I make a crispy chicken with tofu. All right, so now we're going to look at the foods that are a lot higher in methionine. So we've went over so good choices: fruit, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans, legumes. So good choices. Now, these are the foods that are getting high in the amount of milligrams of methionine. Dairy is 127, so we talked about, I think over 115 is pretty high. So dairy is actually the number one source of saturated fat in the diet. So if you're trying to lose weight, dairy is an excellent item to omit. So here, we want to avoid these foods. So 127 milligrams for dairy, and dairy includes not just cheese and milk, but also yogurt, cream, butter, Brazil nuts. Now, Brazil nuts are nuts. Now, they were in the other category of nuts, or at least I thought they were. I mean, they are a nut, but they're kind of high in methionine. And so, this source that I got this information from is Dr. Michael Greger's book, How Not to Age. So, that's the source, and you can look it up. It's a great book. So, it's not just, oh, these vegan foods are good and you need to eat this. You'll see, look at this. So if that was the case, Brazil nuts would not be on his chart, but it is. So he actually says don't eat Brazil nuts at all, because not only are they high in methionine, but they're so high in selenium, and he worries about selenium overdose. But the raw vegan community noticed that the diet is too low in selenium because they don't eat beans and typically grains. So some of them recommend a Brazil nut maybe every other day. So another food, so you either eliminate Brazil nuts, or if you're raw, just have it once in a while, maybe a couple days a week. And the next one on the list, so it keeps going up, ground beef, it's 219. So if we compare ground beef, 219 versus a banana of 7, that's quite a jump. And then we've got eggs, 235. So it keeps going up. And this is another surprise for me. I'm like, wow, eggs are higher in this toxic amino acid than ground beef. And the doctors are always saying, hey, if you've got cancer, or at least a good doctor should tell you, avoid beef. But hey, if you've got cancer, looks according to this, if you have cancer and you want to not feed the cancer, you shouldn't eat eggs either. And eggs are the number one source of cholesterol in the diet. The yolk is super high in cholesterol. So yeah, that makes sense. If you're eating the entire egg, that would be the number one source of cholesterol in the diet. I think dairy is number 2. Cottage cheese. Now, I remember a lot of bodybuilders would eat cottage cheese because they're like, oh, it's high in protein. But look how much methionine, 482. So that's pretty high and scary. Chicken breast is even, look at this, chicken breast is higher. So actually, if you've got cancer, you want to avoid chicken breast too. Chicken is the number 2 source of saturated fat and cholesterol in the diet. So according to this, chicken is worse than beef and chicken is worse than eggs. And pork and lamb kind of shouldn't surprise people. Pork is not a health food, never was. 509 to 564 milligrams of methionine in pork and lamb. Yikes. And I used to eat both. Canned tuna and haddock and halibut, these are fish, 605 milligrams of methionine. Yikes. And the worst, up here, according to this chart, an egg white omelet. Now, this is the biggest shocker for me. 714 milligrams of methionine. So maybe a doctor should say don't eat eggs at all. And the worst thing to eat would be egg whites. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a very shocking thing to me. So anyways, to reduce your cancer risk, you should be eating low methionine foods. If you're looking for a coach, I help people transition to a healthy way of eating. I answer questions, I can send you recipes, and I could be there for you for support. I analyze people's diets. I have a certification in fitness nutrition. I'm also a certified personal trainer and strength and conditioning coach. And I've published 4 books so far. I'm working on my 5th. I love helping people get better. I've lowered my blood sugars and I've lowered my cholesterol, and I've reversed several autoimmune conditions, and I have a couple of videos on that. I even reversed type 1 diabetes antibodies. So I help people reverse diabetes and help people with autoimmune conditions to get rid of those. And let's all live healthier, be happier. And when you eat foods that are good for you, you feel better. But the thing is, sometimes people will feel worse at the beginning. It's kind of like a detox. There's a couple reasons. One is that you got this gut bacteria that's bad. It's fighting with the good bacteria, and that your cells are repairing, which can be painful at times. So that's a really good time to have a coach to help you through it, keep you positive, keep you going, and figure out what's going on and give you tips. So sometimes it's just even not eating enough calories. So if I don't eat enough calories, I'm exhausted, I don't have enough energy, I'll be grumpy, and I'll be wanting to eat something I shouldn't, and might want to binge on something I shouldn't. So, eating enough calories, being consistent, eating foods at a certain time. Now, I have heard all sorts of things from all sorts of different people. You know, you'll have one person say this and the other person say that, and they both contradict each other. So, that's what I can help you with. You know, some people say, oh, you shouldn't eat after 7 or 8 o'clock or whatever. Well, even though I reversed type 1 diabetes antibodies, I still have a pancreas that does not produce enough insulin. So sometimes my blood sugar will drop very low, and it might be at 10 o'clock at night. And I'm not going to follow that person's advice when my blood sugar is at 40 when it should be no lower than 75. I'm going to eat. So, and if I'm hungry and it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night and I can't go to sleep because I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. So I'd be happy to help you. I love helping people. And you can contact me through my website, thehive5diet.com. You pick the appointment that you want, the service that you want, and the time you want, and I'll contact you. And am very affordable. And I definitely want to help more people. It brings me joy. So let me know if you have any questions. And of course, check out my book with all the healthy recipes that are my favorite. And my friends have been telling me to create a cookbook for decades before I had it published, telling me that they loved my meals and they wish they had the recipes. So that's what I created for them. And now you get to enjoy them too.